Hey guys, it is Tristan with Nerdette's NewsStand, and finally, we got Dark Knight's Death Metal, and I'm going to screen record for this, so it might not be up perfect quality. I probably should do it the other way, but I want to get this out. I was really excited to read this. It was originally pushed back and also expanded upon. And I'm really glad now that I've read the first issue that it was expanded upon, because the concepts within it are really well done. Now, of course, I am a Scott Snyder fan, and he did just a fantastic job with this one. So obviously, spoilers, I am going to go through this, but this isn't one of those I hate these. I hate them. This isn't one of those you can just pick up, right? You've got to know a little bit about what has happened and what is going on with continuity. So the best thing probably to read would be the Hell Arisen, and then, of course, the Justice League storyline when it comes to Perpetua, right? The most important thing to know with that is at the end of that storyline, we had the Justice League running towards this blue energy light, and then we found out that the Batman Who Laughs knew all about this, and he kind of took over Lex's position. So this is where we are at, and we have Sergeant Rock talking to us. And I was just like, he turns the light on, he's talking to us, he's got a bunch of cigarettes in his mouth, talking about curly fries and a turd burger. Yeah. Like, it's funny because it's such a typical, like, war veteran thing. I even hear it in that voice, weirdly enough, but we're gonna have some fun, right? So this is called an anti-crisis, and the biggest thing to this is it all matters. We heard that from Scott over and over again, and I love this. I really like these little details put in, but I love the fact that I don't know if it's just me, but I love when they do maps like this. So it says the DCU, right? And they're going to be very clear that is, we're in Hal, formerly Themyscira, the DCU. Yes, the real DCU. Being very clear that this is all in continuity. So we're picking up in a different place than we did with Metal, right? We're picking up in the middle of the story, so we're going to have to fill in all of the pieces. And at first I'm like, what's going on? Like, because I read everything just about, except for maybe like Amethyst and a couple of the side titles I don't read, but I generally read most of DC's content, and I was even confused at first, and then I realized we were halfway into the story. So Swamp Thing looks horrible. He looks horrible, but at the same time, he looks fantastic. So they're bringing a prisoner, and they're unsure of this prisoner, and for some reason, he's more guarded. He's more guarded than a normal prisoner would be, and also, Diana is going to be melting down the invisible jet here, so that's going to come into play. But this prisoner that they bring in, and as they kind of go through the cells, we learn a little bit of who's here. Obviously, we have Captain Cold, we have the Joker, which brings up a good point that he's wearing these, bat glasses, and you can't do that because the bat symbol is forbidden on anybody but the Dark Knight, which, the Batman Who Laughs. So we have this prisoner. He is covered up. I really like the fact that these, it should be here, that the conversation between Diana and this, Bruce Wayne. He's not really Bruce Wayne, but he has his uploaded conscious from his world. He has, right here is where I love it. I love it because they're like, the T-Rex is arguing, I am Batman, as many as others on my world, right? Well, no, because he can throw batarangs, and I love it. He's like, I'm working on it. Like, it's just really cute. But we get an introduction to, these characters, right? And he's going straight down to the Tartarus pits And we don't know why, but Diana does recognize him. There's some sort of psychic link there, and then she gets immediately pulled away, so we don't actually know. Now, one thing I want to say, and even as I'm reviewing this, I'm looking away right now, because this digitally, Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo, anybody, this digitally is terrible right here. And the reason why I say that is because if you look at this background, and I don't know that it'll come up the same on your screen as it does mine, I have that infinity screen, and it looks 3D. And I'm old anyways. I'm 32 years old. I'm having a hard time looking at this. It literally looks like those like 90s psychedelic posters where something would pop out at you. And I can't stand it. Like, I had a very hard time reading this first thing this morning. It does not look right. But even so, they're talking about the lands that were on in Gotham during the Revolutionary War. A lot of people died there, and that's why they use these lands, right? I mean, I'm not going to go through everything, but they called themselves the Dead Bats. And eventually the British came, and there was tunnels and swallows and stuff, beneath the field. And then they called them the Dead Beats, right? Obviously you can read this all for yourself. I have a hard time looking at it. And then we've got this, right? But now, the only place they could see themselves now is here. And I did have a couple people say this could have been homage to Inferno. And I actually didn't notice it until that was pointed out to me. So I just thought it was really funny. Like, why? I know it's the dark multiverse. I know we've had the crossovers, but with a Joker head, I just... Okay. So this is what I love here. We're going to get introduction to my phone not working and comicsology being a pain in the butt again. Everybody that is working, right? Everybody that's working for the Batman Who Laughs. We've got Harley, we've got Dr. Arkham, Aquaman, Black Fleet, and Bohemian. Like, there's some main characters, but they're doing a really good job of putting the side characters in. And I love that we've got Mr. Miracle here. One of my favorite characters, right? He's such a good character that's so underutilized. And then we've got Perpetua here in the background. Comicsology never, ever works for me when I want it to, but I have no problem with it when I'm just reading it. So, and we've got Batman and our Bruce Wayne here, arguing kind of not psychedelically, telepathically with Diana, because he wants, right now at this point, to fight and go forward. She's like, no. Again, with that theme, it all matters. They need to get every Earth back. Right now, they make mention, Batman Who Laughs makes mention of Earth 22, and I do believe that was his Earth. They're all gone. All but 8 Earths out of the 52 are gone. She wants all of them back. And Batman's like, no, we need to cut our losses and move forward. Well, Diana is not having that. Nobody's quite remembering either, right? So when they went through that doorway on Justice League, nobody's quite remembering. They only remember little bits of what happened. And they're kind of trying to, fill in the blanks. I love this here, though. Like, Batman Who Laughs is talking about all the different Earths. And he's talking about how well he knows Diana. And this is one thing I've hated, even in metal, is the fact that they use red and black. I don't know. Am I old? Is that what it is? And they use red and black when it comes to when it's him speaking, right? Oh my God, it drives my eyes absolutely crazy. But he's talking to Diana about on the different Earths. They were even like lovers. And she's like, yeah, you don't know anything about me. So a fight ensues. And I love where they go with this, because Batman is using the cloak of erasure to actually attack. And it's working. And he ends up, let's just get here. We end up getting this attack from the Batman Who Laughs side. All of the different Batmans. We've got Etrigan, we've got Clayface, we've got all Scarecrow Batman, we've got Mr. Terrific Batman, like our dark side, or Deathstroke. My God, there's so many, and I love the way they do it. And we've still got, Diana saying enough, no more, she is helping, but it's not working. Everybody is trying to, kind of help Bruce out, but nothing is going to work, right? Well, what's going to work? He has a white lantern ring. Freaking, I love it so much. So he's got people, rising, going to help him. And we get this major fight ensue. The first fight, basically, that we've gotten so far, and they're still going back. We've got, Jonah Hex here, still going back and forth on whether or not they need to go forward as is and cut their losses, or try to get everything back. And again, it all matters, right? So we get this deep space call here, and we're not sure who it is. This is a planet that is made of living bone, and we get Lobo. I love it. And I'm looking through this and I'm like, should I understand this? Is this a callback to a book that I haven't read? No, I don't think so. I think it's just a call to something we will see in the future. And then we get, a little bit of a jump here, and we've got Diana. And we don't know exactly what she's planning, but her and Alec are, talking back and forth. She's going to go in the Tartarus pit, and we get to find out the prisoner that they took down, right? And this is a big deal because we've got Wally here. And we've got Wally West as the Dr. Manhattan. And if you remember correctly, and flash forward, he sat on the Mobius chair. So now he's got, all of the information. But for some reason, he is too weak. But he has that information. So that's going to be what we go over next. And there's a lot of information here, so I'm sure I will forget some of it, so I apologize. But we come to understand that there are two types of energy when it comes to the multiverse, right? There is a positive energy, like the Speed Force, emotion, justice, those kind of energies. And then we have a negative energy, which is called crisis energy, learning that for the most part, Perpetua is the one in charge of that. She was stuck in the source wall for quite some time, but she lives off of crisis energy. And crisis energy has been, shattered the connection between everything. Oh my God. Like, they do mention generations here, and at first I was like, oh no. I don't really want too much when it comes to this, 5G stuff. It didn't excite me. I'm not saying that it wouldn't be good, it just didn't excite me. But we also learn, about her goals to create a multiverse with no memory that would live forever in this kind of self-renewal loop of time. And it would feed off of Perpetua. She is the crisis energy. Well, this also, she was tied to the source. Well, once she was released, she is now able to control things like this. Now she is using, obviously, her and Batman Who Laughs. The reason they can't kill these people, it's like, this whole story wouldn't be happening if they could just kill off, all the heroes and take over this dark multiverse by themselves. But they can't, because as soon as they erase their memories, those worlds die. That energy dies. So they have to stay alive. And all of it really makes sense now. And they do, make mention of Dr. Manhattan connecting energy. He tried to go back and fix the multiverse, the scars of the former crises. And he was, unable to do so. So the Quintessence kind of gathered that energy and gave it to the League to fight Perpetua. There is a lot in this page that explains a lot. And I like that we finally, it's all exposition, obviously, but we needed that. We needed that going into the story. So now, they have, they explain, Perpetua basically, kicked out, or Batman Who Laughs kicked out Lex at this point from Hell Arisen. And now we see what has to be done in order for them to move forward. But in order to rain on that parade, we have the Batman Who Laughs show up, right? He's showing up, and now they are totally fucked. Well, not really, because the Batman Who Laughs is, the counter to the Batman. He knows what Bruce Wayne would do, but this isn't a Bruce Wayne story. This is a Wonder Woman centric. She's the center of the story. And he doesn't know what she would do. So we have her. What she did was melt down. At least from what I understand, they don't make it perfectly clear. She melted down earlier part of her jet. And now we have, I don't know what this is. Like, I'm still up, this is still up in question for me. But this, whatever it is, we have the death of the Batman Who Laughs. Now, is this permanent? Probably not. Perpetual will probably bring him back. But even so, this is the first time we've actually had the Batman Who Laughs die in a really long time. So I kind of love it. Like, this picture's so beautiful. But he's gone. And now we get this little chainsaw of truth. We have them running back saying, it happened. He's dead. He's gone. And now these are his favorite Robins. Like, they just look so weird. But we have the final Bruce Wayne, right? And we have like a little bit of a Watchmen reference here. So this is the true plan that the Batman Who Laughs wanted to enact. So I don't know if this is a Bruce Wayne version of Dr. Manhattan like we have with Wally, or if this is the actual Dr. Manhattan. But we end here with Sergeant Rock again, and he's still talking to us, and he says, I'll tell you what after the burger, like, and then we have Batman interrupt his conversation with us, and he says, come on, the fight is happening now. And he's like, now, he's got to go. But what I love about this, he says, the big one, all of us, the last fight, everyone together. Where is the rest of his body, and how is he alive? Oh, it's so weird. There's so much information in this. This is a definite, like, there's a lot of times I'm like, oh, well, I'll recommend this, or, give it a 9 out of 10 or something like that. No, this is a definite buy. This is a definite recommend. This is the best book I have read in a really long time. And that's not just coming from somebody who likes Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. That's coming from somebody who doesn't care about who's the creative team. I'm telling you, this book is worth it. I think it cost me on Comixology $4.24. And it was quite a bit a long read, and that could be because I'm old and I can't read those red boxes very well. But this was, so far, the story of the year. I would say, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what was better. Maybe Harley #3 would be up there with it. Some stories were good. That might have even came out last year. But definitely worth the buy. And it makes me want this more. So we have 7 issues, right? 6, and then they added the 1. And then we've got like 3 tie-ins. And I was going to do a whole dedicated video to what's going on with that, and I got behind with it. So with work and everything. But wow, this book is so good. I don't want to sound like a fangirl, but my God, everything going into this, whether it's starting in the middle, the who they use for the teams, Perpetua, what we've learned from Wally, everything going into this was so good. So let me know what you guys think, of course. And if you're going to pick this up, absolutely fantastic book. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hey guys, I want to give a huge shout out to my Patreon and subscribe stars. You guys literally make this channel possible. Huge thank you to Cage the Mick, Robert Mick Twiz, Black Knight Fool, Brucey, Chris Z, David L, David Rafford, Jeffrey Allen Carnes, Mighty Balls, Mike Buckner, Maizen Barbosa, Ruskar, Ryan Decker, Robert Hoffman, and Doc Holliday. You guys are absolutely amazing, and thank you so much for all your support. Don't forget on the way out to like as always if you enjoy the content, and hit subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.